But first, the scandal of the free detainees just gets worse. More evidence today of the shiftiness and incompetence of Home Affairs Minister Clare O'Neil. I think she's misled us. As we've been discussing for days now, O'Neil let 141 people out from immigration detention, including murderers, rapists, an assassin, and a child rapist too, without any proper control. Now, it's true, it's the High Court that said let them out. But it turns out that even after months where she should have got ready for this day, should have taken precautions for your safety, public safety, she didn't. Now, I know Clare O'Neil gets very upset hearing about all this. In fact, just today she was complaining about the opposition, asking her questions that in her now trademark style, she actually won't answer.
I see that the opposition's had a little bit of a meeting this morning and they've decided that they're going to spend today making a political attack on me. Well, congratulations.
But to the latest question today about her truthfulness, let's start with the background. Now, O'Neil comes up with different stories to explain how she and the government court totally caught out with that High Court decision a couple of weeks ago. That was when the court said it had to free a Burmese pedophile from immigration detention because no country would take him back and the government couldn't go around punishing people with indefinite detention, right? Now, because of that decision, the government also had to release another 140 other detainees in a similar position. Now, clearly the government was caught flat-footed because it just let them all out, all these hardened criminals, without monitoring, curfews, and not even for an assassin who had murdered a young woman, supposedly on the orders of a Malaysian politician. Nothing. Now, O'Neil's excuse has been this, but I was told we were going to win this case.
You knew this could happen in June, though, didn't you, or did you?
We knew that there was a High Court action on foot. We knew that it was 20 years of legal precedent, and we were advised that it was likely that the Commonwealth would win the case, that is, allow us to do what we wanted to do, which is keep these people in detention.
Minister, who advised you were likely to win, and how recently did you receive that advice?
Well, we received that advice from the Department of Home Affairs, who tell us what chances we have of success and failure in each legal case. But I do need you to understand that
when did you receive that advice?
I do need you to understand that our department is one of the most litigated against departments of the Commonwealth.
As you see, O'Neil doesn't do answers, right? But then our Sky News political editor, Andrew Clennell, found out that O'Neil, far from being confident she'd win the High Court case, was frantically trying in August and September, and it seems even October, right up to the High Court decision, to get some other country, like America, to take this child rapist off our hands. So she could then go to the court and say, well, Your Honour, the pedophile is now out of the country, so there's no need for the case to continue and for you to make a decision. Okay? That is the trick that O'Neil then admitted to Clennell this week after his scoop, saying, well, actually, yes, that's what I really meant. I was given operational advice from my department that we could remove this guy from Australia, and then the case would not have to proceed. I was not referring to legal advice at all. Well, she could have fooled us, the way I should put it, but anyway. Now, of course, no country wanted our child rapists. Are you kidding? But even now, here we get to it. That turns out to be only half the story of this incompetence, right? And the fact is that there's now even less excuse for the government being caught so unprepared for releasing 141 people, like I say, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, whatever, an assassin, without even basic monitoring until the opposition kicked up a stink and they passed rush legislation, ankle monitors and the whole thing. That's because the reason it's even worse now, court documents show that O'Neil and the government actually knew back in May, and that's like 6 months ago, that there was just about no hope on God's earth that some other country would take this Burmese child rapist known as NZYQ. In fact, the government actually admitted to the High Court itself back in May this very thing. It must have known it was odds on that the court would then tell it it would therefore have to free this detainee and others just like him. And the opposition's immigration spokesman Dan Tierney, having seen the court documents, an admission in May, asked about exactly that today and got, yes, another O'Neil non-answer.
On 30 May 2023, the government told the High Court it was an agreed fact that there was no, quote, no real prospect of NZYQ being removed from Australia in the reasonably foreseeable future. Yet reports in The Guardian showed just last week the Minister for Home Affairs said she had operational advice about the case and that it was likely that the government would, quote, avoid it by deporting him. Did the Minister sign off on the facts that the government put before the High Court on 30 May 2023?
I will make no apologies for doing everything within my power to deport this person from our country. I'm not going to apologise that.
That woman answers questions like Linda Burney and the Prime Minister himself did during the Voice debate, right? They answer it by not answering them at all. It's a trademark of this government. So much for, openness and all that kind of thing, accountability, let the light in. So this is the issue. O'Neil did or should have known 6 months ago she'd have to release 141 people, many of them serious criminals, but she didn't prepare for it. She gave an excuse for this. I was told we'd win. But when that was exposed, she said, well, I actually meant I was told we could get rid of this detainee. But now we know she couldn't or shouldn't have believed that either at the time that she said so. How can this incompetent, sneaky minister stay in this job?